What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Script the Legend. Shut up about my mic. Anyways, let's hop into the video. Oh, that's how I'm gonna start off every video until I get a new mic. Shut up about my mic, and then get into the what we're breaking down. But basically, we're just gonna go over the weekly go have a weekly glance at EverGrowCoin. So at the beginning of the week. So it's October 22nd. We're gonna look at October 15th. October 15th, we saw some dipping happening. And it was the price wasn't tanking, but it was dropping a whole lot. And we saw it hit at one point, but not for long, 6 zeros 1812, which wasn't nice, but it's still the buyers did do a good job fighting these sellers and having a flooring kind of at 6 zeros 2073. And then the buyers bought that dip up a little bit, and we saw a growth up to 2751. Right. I'm not gonna say 6 zeros for right now because we already know we haven't broken, or because EverGrow coins not breaking a zero within the time span, didn't break a zero within the time span of this week. So we saw some stuff. We go into October 16th. We saw a little stable pricing during the morning, but then we saw some growth happening later on in the day, going into October 17th. Some dipping happened early in the morning, but then the buyers started coming in. The buyers fought it off, and they got the price to grow up some more. And what happened? We have some selling too. We had at one point we was at 4106 or 4138, but the sellers they fought the war. They fought the war and it went down a little bit, but then we bought back and then there was some dipping. And now right now at this stage, between October well from October 18th, late October 18th to October 19th to the 20th and into the 21st, we saw a lot more stability. Oh shoot. Shucky ducky. What the fudgy. We saw some stability though. We saw some stability in the price. I wish I didn't do that. Let me try to zoom in. All right, that was too far. Anyways, we saw some stability, and then the price now we're seeing a nice little curve upward, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. With a market cap of 178.67, the market cap has grown, I believe, 40 million from the week. And looking at the holders, we started off the week with 25.7K holders, right? Technically 20, if you want to count Sunday, then we started off the week with 24K holders, and now we're up to 28.9K holders. We're almost at 29K holders. So that's beautiful for EverGrowCoin. We're gaining holders without even being listed. Without even being listed. We'll check out the Twitter. Maybe they got listed while I'm making this video. Just hopped out the shower, so I was not able to see anything that happened, if anything was tweeted yet. No, we haven't been listed on Indacoin, and you would know based off the Twitter page because they said they're going to do a lot of talking about the fact that they're listed on Indacoin and getting hype about that. But with all that being said, let's go into Solidity. So people don't understand what Solidity is. I don't fully understand Solidity that much, but we're gonna go over it real quickly because it is the same type of programming language that's used for Ethereum, for EverGrowCoin, for SafeMoon, and for many other cryptos. All right. Solidity is known as a contract-based, high-level programming language. This platform has similar syntax to the scripting language of JavaScript, which is a front-end developing language that is very useful for front-end and is used for a lot of things. JavaScript is a good programming language. Solidity as a programming language is made to enhance the Ethereum virtual machine. Solidity is st- st- statically typed scripting language, which does the process of verifying and enforcing the constraints at compile time as opposed to runtime. Guys, that is not the mic. That is me. All right, y'all be saying it's getting choppy, it's getting cracky. It's because I can't pronunciate the words I'm trying to pronunciate. All right, stop blaming the mic. I'm gonna take responsibility. It's me. What is Solidity programming language for Ethereum smart contracts? This typed programming languages will help and do the checking at runtime as opposed to compile time. This platform compile time runtime compared to compile time. Compiling, just know compiling is a little bit slower than runtime, but I'll fact check myself real quick, or I'll fact check myself on that. But compile time, compiling is checking to see if there's any errors in the program and if it actually runs, right? And then if there are errors, they tell you what those errors are. Runtime is is just running the program. It's not, it sounds easy, but it's a little bit more, it's not that complicated. It's just running the program, and then if there's an error, it just says error. That's it. Or it will say cannot run. But yeah. This platform also, but I'm gonna fact check myself on that because I could be wrong. This platform also supports inheritance and object-oriented programming. Inheritance enables new objects to take on the properties of existing objects. A class that is used as the basis for inheritance is called a superclass or base class. A class that inherits from a superclass is called a subclass or derived class. As you will see, it is possible to create contracts for voting, crowdfunding, blind auctions, multi-signature wallets, and more. So that's all that comes with Solidity. There's other programming languages. Back in like a while back, you would have people would say that Solidity is not preferred, but Solidity is growing. It was at first made its way on the scene a little bit back in 2018, but it's been growing, and expanding. But let's talk. I'm gonna try to explain to you this inheritance stuff. So inheritance, think of it like when they say superclass, base class, and stuff like that. Think of the parent. That's the parent, and then you have subclasses and derived classes. Those are the children. So, for example, your mom or your dad is the base class, right? They have they might have DNA of like okay, oh gosh, ooh, I'm trying to think, but I can't think right now of a good example. Okay, okay. So let's not say parents, but that's basically a good way to think of it, but it's also more versatile than that. Let's think of animals. Animals is the base class, right? But then the derived classes from an animal would be a dog or a cat. Or let's go with the dog family. You might say dogs or like the base is the super class or the base class. Then you have German shepherds. You have Pomeranian poodles. I think I said that right. You got Labradors, Golden Retrievers. Those are derived. The base class is gonna have like the core structure, right? It's gonna be like dogs have this, like dogs. Um, it's a canine. Like that's a like the one of the things about that object or whatever is it's a canine, right? So you're not gonna go in and say that like a German Shepherd's a canine, a Labrador is a canine. You're not gonna say that. You're just gonna say that in the base class. But what you might say in the derived or the subclass is that the German Shepherd is highly protective, black and brown fur, originates out of German. You know what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, there's just those are the subclasses and the base classes. That's some high level stuff you guys just learned if you understand it. So if you know that, you could get away on it. No, you wouldn't. But you're gonna have to know some coding. But you could like say you could make it seem like you know a little bit. You could say like you know a little bit about coding. But here's the pros and cons about Solidity. Solidity provides inheritance, provide properties and contracts, including multi-level inheritance properties. Smart contracts provide a secure, easy, and reliable medium for various sources which have involvement of two parties to do an agreement on something, i.e., crypto. Contracts support complex member variables and hierarchical mapping and structures. Multiple type safe functions are supported in Solidity through facilitating ABI application binary interface. Cons of Solidity. I'm going to state the ones that are because it's new. Because this article is from back, it's from 2018, so it's not the best one. But that was the only one I can find that gave good pros and cons of Solidity. Once a contract is made, it cannot be upgraded. We cannot add additional features to it. Kind of somewhat true. Yeah, for the most part, it's true. That is true. That's why you want to make sure the dev team knows what they're doing the first time. Um, but they do, I believe they now have it as an option that you can go in and edit it. But it may not, that still may not be the case. As literally that gap of space of me not talking was not the mic. It was just me not speaking. I might have to turn on my webcam when I do these videos so y'all can hear that and see that I'm not speaking. As Solidity is a new language in a market, so as Solidity is a new language in a market, so it has more drawbacks than other languages like Python, C++, and JavaScript because those languages have been around for a long time. Keep that in mind. Concerning bugs, other languages have definite edge over this because different languages have a large number of developers to resolve them. That's true. Arrays and string structure and usage are very complicated due to the unavailability of the standard library. Every language has its library and perform functions. So what do they mean by that? You have to implement libraries to do certain things with different features in your programs when it comes to programming languages. And what I've noticed when it comes to Solidity still to this day, you don't import any libraries. What you have is what you have, and that's it. For example, when you're using C hashtag or C++, you can unlock or you can implement in your program Unity, which is, if you don't know what that is, that's like the gaming engine to like create games. But you may not want to implement the library because it'll just be a waste of code, a waste of runtime, and it might interfere with what you're trying to do because you might and name something in your program, something that has to do with the what's it called, with that is that's in the Unity library. So you wouldn't want to use the library. You wouldn't want to just implement every library because it's going to make your code even hard. It's going to just complicate things basically. But they are useful though because when you're trying to make your program for something specific, you want to have a library that you can access, but Solidity doesn't have that. Does this mean Solidity is bad to use? No, it's used primarily for blockchains, and like I've said earlier, it is used in Ethereum, SafeMoon, and EverGrowCoin, and in others. And smart contracts. Oh, and arrays and strings. Strings are just are words, but we call them strings in computer science. And arrays are a list of things, a list of items. And smart contracts is not easy to task it's not an easy task to tell any language everything about the real world problems because languages work on commands given by us. True. That's true. Data is only available only from transactions. There is no source for the information, which in turn creates a problem for the machine to work efficiently. I'll say so. I don't know what y'all was expecting me. Y'all was probably expecting me to say everything good about Solidity. No, we're not doing that. We're explaining what Solidity is, the pros and cons of Solidity, and why we use it in why do we use it in blockchain? Because it's good for transactions and stuff like that. But we don't. But it's not one of those top. Solidity is not a top language it's not a good language when you go outside of blockchains because it's not helpful. It doesn't Like it's made for blockchain. Literally, it's made for blockchain. It's not made for anything else. So there's definitely going to be a lot of cons when it comes to Solidity, especially in the eyes of a lot of computer science people or a lot of software engineers, full stack developers. It's going to be some cons because it's not going to be helpful outside of blockchain. It's not versatile like Python is and C++ is and sometimes SQL. Uh, but it's still good for blockchain. There's pros and there's cons, just like there's pros and cons in everything. Thank you guys for watching. That is the weekly overview of what is going on with EverGrowCoin. Thank you guys for watching. Still no Coin. Still waiting to hear on the date or when Bitmart will be listed. I believe that one of the mystery listings or exchanges we're going to be on is Kraken, which is a top tier crypto exchange out there. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a nice day. And I'll have another video out for y'all today, possibly.